Welcome everybody in the room and welcome everybody online. We are here starting day 2 of our World Sanskrit Day celebration 2025. I'm very happy to introduce Deven. Deven is a professor of Sanskrit and Indian culture in the School of the Arts at the University of Pennsylvania. In the Sanskrit tradition, we have yat, tat combination. If, then. It can be yadi, tarhi. It can be any form of yata. And my point is, if you have been in class before with Deven, that's the yat part, then you know how special he is. That's the tat part. If you have not been in class with Deven before, you are ready to be treated to, say, mahasukham, great joy, maha abhinandanam. So the yat part would be if you have not, and the tat part would be then get ready, hold on to your seats. Deven is a dear friend of Indira and I probably speak for everybody in the room and many people who are not in the room. And we are so lucky to have him again this year. Welcome, my friend.
It's okay, Seth? Well, I love being here. Thank you again. Maybe since our sessions will be one of give and take between friends, not so much anything beyond that, maybe we can all collectively just recite the Sahānāvavatu together, just so we can feel like we're in joint purpose as we go for the next half an hour or so. Yeah?
Actually, Devenji, we have a recording of also Dr. Sharma in the Sahānāvavatu.
Please, that would be wonderful if we have that. He'll lead us in spirit. He was already all spirit anyway, just barely a body. So it's perfect.
Audio?
You need the audio now? Yes. All right, David, just pause for a second. I need to mute you.
Before doing anything, we dedicate ourselves fully to God. Especially before we start taking our lunch or dinner, we chant a mantra from the Upanishad. The mantra that represents prayer to God for all His grace, for all His kind help in protecting us, in sustaining us, in togetherness. May He protect us in togetherness. May He sustain us in togetherness. May we bring about brilliant results of our studies and actions in togetherness. May our spiritual, intellectual pursuits be brilliant. May we never have any ill will against each other. May we have an attitude of universal goodwill and harmony all the time. May we enjoy spiritual, intellectual, material, and all-round peace. Om Sahānāvavatu Sahanav Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai tejasvi navadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
I didn't think I would be hearing Professor Sharma's voice today, and it's really just blows right through me hearing it. My first real great experience reading Upanishad and just feeling something special related to our ashram here was in San Francisco. We were reading the Taittiriya Upanishad with Shankara Bhashya, and Professor Sharma taught me these mantras in the traditional recitation style while we were going through reading. And that moment still was sort of, I've forgotten almost 10 years worth of experiences, but I will never forget moments like that, you know. Something special about that. And maybe Parasji can tell us why that happens with our brains, but I don't know why certain things stay in there and everything else gets wiped away. So I want to first of all thank Shanta, who always inspires us with topics which provoke us to think, how in the world am I going to speak on this topic? So hope and unity. And I thought, okay, this will be easy. And I thought, let me just find a whole bunch of verses on hope. Hope's such a wonderful thing. And ironically, the Sanskrit poets don't like hope. In fact, they hate hope. And so all these verses are about why hope is horrible. Hope is for losers, according to the Sanskrit poets. It's really, they're hard. Hope is not what they think that hope, of course, one of the words for hope is direction. Asha. Asha just means direction. If you have direction, you have hope. But direction is pretty standard. It's important, but it's not anything special. If you don't have it, it's special. Nirasha, depression, no direction. It's interesting. Nirasha means no direction. That's despair. But hope itself is something which is, I found difficulty. So there was one verse that I did find that was sort of semi-positive about hope. So the rest of them are going to be all negative, I'm sorry to say. However, with unity, I thought that this was a really nice verse. So in our style, we'll sort of try to work through it together, and then we'll go through our discussion together as well. So I'll recite and we can maybe call and response in our style. Nāma-rūpātmakam viśvam. Nāma-rūpātmakam viśvam. dṛśyate yadidaṃ dvidhā. tatrādyasya kavir vedhā. dvitīyasya caturmukhaḥ. We can do it all together now. nāma-rūpātmakam viśvam dṛśyate idaṃ dvidhā tatrādyasya kavir vedhā dvitīyasya caturmukhaḥ. dvitīyasya caturmukhaḥ. This is the only thing that's on this menu for unity. That the world is just name and form. That's all it is. Just everything is nama and rupa. Nāma-rūpātmakam viśvam. But it appears like it's twofold. It comes across as twofold. dṛśyate idaṃ dvidhā. So who's responsible for name? Tatrādyasya kavir vedhā. And who's responsible for the second? So God creates the one thing and the poets break up that unity by having a million things to say about that one thing, you know. This is all there is in the world. It's just poets and the creator. So we'll see what the poets have to say about hope. Nothing good I can anticipate, or I projected to you already, but maybe I'm over dramatizing that. There might be something positive in there. Any thoughts on this verse? Anybody want to say anything? We have no microphone, so the microphone is there. Yes, please.
I was just going to ask if you could do the second two the third and fourth padas, if you could explain. I was just going to ask if you can explain the Sanskrit, the
Yes.
third and fourth
Yes.
padas.
Can you pass over the microphone over, and somebody else will help us here. Right next to George, we have Indiraji, who will help us with me. You will help me with this. Let us, as if we are doing it together. Let's try to do this. So let's do the whole thing. nāma-rūpātmakam viśvam. Viśvam, nāma-rūpātmakam iti. How would you render that?
The nature of the universe is to be that of name and form. That and I didn't even notice this has got yet in it. So that this universe is seen to be of the nature of name and form. Idaṃ dvidhā, twofold.
tatrādyasya kavir vedhā. What is vedhā? Anybody know what vedhā? Now, not veda, vedhā.
Oh, is that other word for Brahma? Brahma,
Vedru,
creator?
right?
Aha.
It's the one who arranges, literally, right?
That's the derivation?
I don't know. I'm asking you. You're the Panini scholars. I'm not going to know anything. I just look it up in the dictionary like everybody else. I don't know. What does this all mean? We have two Panini scholars. We have a lot of Panini scholars in here.
Well, first of all, if it is going to be from... okay, let's back up. Just, if you look it up in the dictionary, what do you get?
Let's see.
Because,
You get Brahma.
that's what I was thinking, Brahma.
Well, why is he called vedhā? No. Natu veda. It's not veda, it's vedhā.
Well,
But what is creation? Creation is arrangement, isn't it? This is my theory. I don't know if this is what it is. I don't know if the derivation is this or not. Vidadhati. So, in the sense of somebody who puts things together in a special way, literally, right? Dha, to place. Vi upasarga, visheshaha, visheshena. One who arranges, who puts things in special places. This is what the poets do.
can't go back and forth with glasses. No, but it still brings the other question, because if you take it, I think Dr. Trivedi is completely correct that this may be coming from that verb, which I used to say about vidhā, that it was the verb I looked up more than any other verb in the Sanskrit language, because it is so useful in so many contexts. But what I'm wondering about is what suffix gives you guna of the upasarga? Okay, well, there you go. Okay.
Unadi Sutra. In other words, Panini, it's sort of it doesn't quite, there's no special rule for it, in other words.
That is the special rule. You just apply this.
You apply this, fine. Very nice. So the poet is the arranger, right? The poet doesn't actually create as such. This is a function. The poet's function is to put things together in a special way.
And I had a question, a follow-up related to this. Is it the kavi from the Upanishads? Is it the philosopher kavi?
Oh, it's working.
It's working?
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah. Is it the philosopher kavi or?
This is a good question. Is this the kavi of the Veda, which is the rishi, who himself is a creator of sorts? Or is it the kavi of later times? Either way, the kavi, whether it's of the Veda or the Upanishads, or if it's more of the later poetry kavi, they're both doing the same thing, aren't they? The rishis are mantra drishtarahas. They didn't create the mantras. They just arranged them into the Veda that we now, from which we get injunctions and prohibitions. Vidhis and same verb.
Right.
Yeah, vidhis. We get vidhis and what am I forgetting? Prohibitions. Negative things. Don't do this and don't do this. So that's all the rishis did, and all the poets do is they take the sounds and they put them into special order to create different ways of expressing what is essentially the form, the rupa. Yes, Jayashri.
Doesn't dvidhā mean like confusion or?
No. Dvidhā is twofold.
Twofold, okay. But
Confusion would be, I think you're thinking about, Duvida. Ah. Oh, very good.
Dvidhā and duvida is different.
Oh, you're in two minds. Options, right?
Yeah,
Vikalpa.
But
That's
in this context, it's twofold.
Okay.
Yeah,
See,
but
very
in
good.
this context, it's twofold.
Thank you, Narenji. It's wonderful to see you too.
We use that word terminology a lot.
Always go for the simplest answer first in Sanskrit. Then you go for the complex things. The complex things are the fun stuff, but you have to get the simple meanings first. Just twofold. Okay, so form, dvitīyasya caturmukhaḥ, Karunaji. So the four-faced creator God is responsible for the second thing, for form. But of course, nāma-rūpa is one thing. It's the unified nature of our experience. So I'm hoping that this satisfies Shanta's criteria for speaking on unity. Okay, let's do the next one. This is partly in, wait, is this the next one? There we go. Now this one is the most positive thing I could find, but it's also, more neutral than positive. So let's recite this one together. Ashram-manushyanam. I'll recite it first and then we can follow. Ashram-manushyanam. Kāchidāścarya shriṅkhalā yaya baddhā pradhāvanti muktāstishtanti kutrachit āśrānāma-manushyānām kāchidāścarya shriṅkhalā yaya baddhā pradhāvanti muktāstishtanti kutrachit muktāstishtanti kutrachit. A little bit more straightforward, yeah? Asha. What we say is hope. Could be direction. Its basic meaning is directions. Direction. Because direction is hope. Hope is that thing which is called, right? Nama. Manushyanam. For people. Right? Of people, for people, you can say here. For people, that thing called hope is what? Kachid Ashcharya Shrinkhala. Kachid, Kachana, Kapi. Some special kind, right? Some kind of Ashcharya Shrinkhala. Shrinkhala. Anybody knows the word Shrinkhala? Shackles. Chain. Shackles. Right. Handcuffs. Ashcharya is what? Surprise, surprising, and astonishing, wondrous, something like this, right? Yes. Question? Oh. Yes, Shab.
Is this working?
Yeah, it is.
Turns out.
I don't know. I just wanted to clarify one thing about the theme of this organized program.
I've already screwed up.
No, you're giving us the icing on the cake, but by us all coming here, unity is figured out.
Yeah, good.
And then the rest is really icing on the cake. I just wanted to make that clear because you keep talking about the challenge.
I know. We have to have fun. The Sanskrit poets are fun, and that's why I wanted to make sure that, we're not too sanctimonious. Sanskrit is a language that you're supposed to have fun. There's a very famous verse that says, "Jokes don't block the road to heaven." You have to be cheerful. There's no point in you don't have to be too serious, So. All right. Where were we? Kachid. Some kind of. Ashcharya, wonderful, surprising, however you want to do it. Astonishing. Shrinkala, shackles. So hope, that thing called hope, and Asha here is feminine, right? So Asha is a shrinkala. It's kind of neutral, it's kind of negative, but we'll see it. The poets, of course, can flip things. They're saying that this is a kind of a shackle. Hope is a shackle. Hope is a chain. But it's a special kind of wondrous chain. Surprising chain. Now we're probably curious. Well, how is that? Yaya baddhā pradhāvanti. Running, good. They run. Who runs? People. Where are the people? What kind of people? Bound people by means of it, right? Yaya. Through it. With it. The people who are bound to it, bound with it, they run, even though they're chained. Muktaha. those liberated from it, tishtanti kutrachit. They just remain stuck somewhere. They can't make any progress because so it's a weird kind of chain that if you're bound to it, you run free, and if you don't have the chain around you, you can't move. Interesting.
I'm just wondering,
Oh, I think you might need to press a button.
It's on. Oh, there it is. Muktas tishtanti kutrachit. Now, I don't see how that would mean that those who are liberated remain stuck. Yeah,
Right.
Kutra, where?
Kutrachit, somewhere.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
They
Somewhere or the other, right?
Oh, they stay somewhere.
They stay somewhere.
They're located somewhere.
Right. But the idea is that that they remain in one place. They remain somewhere. They don't actually run free, right? Freedom we think about as movement. But you can't move if you don't have that chain of hope. This is the other side. This is the wonderful thing about Sanskrit poetry and Sanskrit literature, and this, the whole tradition is that you think it says one thing, but then you're like, well, could it mean this too? You know, and it makes you wonder. Parasji just said that maybe it's not good to move. Maybe you don't want to move. Maybe hope isn't that great after all. It makes you run around after things that you don't want or need. So it's possible. Asha also means desire. So think about direction. Direction is just things that get you out of the house, which might be good or bad.
It also depends on what kind of hope.
What kind of hope?
Could be optimism too.
That's the positive part. Please, Indiraji.
This reminded me of, someone may have it better in English, but there is a saying that those who say something cannot be done should not interrupt those people who are doing it. So this verse looks to me like that. Those who say something is impossible, that it cannot be done, should not interrupt the people who are doing it. So this seems to me that flavor.
Interesting. Oh, hold on. We have one more. We have a technical question here. Please. No, please.
The variant, instead of kutrachit as the last word, yesterday Manorma presented this verse.
Oh.
Pangavaha.
Pangavaha. No, Pungavaha. Sorry, Pangavaha. Pangavaha means that they stay in one place as if they're lame, as if they can't move. That's the other way of doing it. Yeah, kutrachit is a more difficult reading. That's true. I don't know. This is the one I had. Yes. Pangavaha is better. Mukam karoti vachalam. You know this? Pangum langayate girim. Yat kripa tamaham vande paramananda mahadavam. Ashcharya Shrinkala. It's another wonderful verse with the Shrinkala. Speaking of Professor Sharma, just as an aside, and I have a lot of time I have to kill anyway, so I can give a few extra verses here. But it's a very famous verse that I don't know where it's attributed to, but it's beautiful. It's Pataka prachayavan mamatavat punya punjamabhinatha lunihi shrinkalaiva like loham kanchanaiva loham kanchani lohamaiva shrinkalaiva nahi tatra visheshaha. Beautiful. You know this verse, Andarenji? So, yes. Apataka prachayavan mamatavat punya punjam api natha lunihi kanchani lohamayi va shrinkalaiva nahi tatra visheshaha. So, O Lord, He Natha, you please cut lunihi pataka prachayavan mama, my sins, my collection of sins, the same, please cut mama punya punjam api, even my collection of merits. Please destroy both. Don't keep my merits nor my sins. Kanchani lohamaiva, because whether it's made of gold, kanchani, or iron, loha, it's still a chain. Shrinkalaiva, the shrinkala eva, nahi tatra visheshaha. There's no difference really between the two. It's a nice verse. Yes?
The reason why I was nodding was because Suradas has a similar aphorism, but his spin-off is different. He says to the Lord, ward off my sins without discerning between whether I'm a good person or a bad person, just as Parasamani, alchemy stone, doesn't discern between the blade that kills and an idol that sits in the shrine. He converts both of them into gold without discerning. Similarly, take away my sins. So it's a spin-off of the same idea.
Yes. Interesting thing about unity, right? It often goes beyond these dualities, really, that we create, that the poets create the dualities, but what's real is something beyond what we live in, this dvidā, confusion. It's very nice. Okay, the next one's a little bit darker. We get to our favorite poet, for this ashram at least, because we've spent so much time. How many years did we spend on this guy? He's one of the greatest poets in the history of the world, in my opinion. One of the great poets. Everybody knows who this is once you get a little glimmer of this. So let's try this one. Ready? Sahānāvavatu jala. Sahānāvavatu jala. Tṛśṇātarangākula Rāga grāhavati vitarka vihaga Rāga dhairyadrumadvamsini Mohavartasudustarati gahana Protunga chintatati Tasya paragata vishuddha manaso Nandanti yogishvaraha Nandanti yogishvaraha Asha nama nadi manoratha jala trishna taranga kula raga grahavati vitarka vihaga dhairya drumadvamsini mohavarta sudustarati gahana protunga chintatati tasya paragata vishuddha manaso nandanti yogishvara. Asha nama again, same thing. That thing called hope. Here it's not a chain but a river. Asha nama nadi, ki drishi nadi, manoratha jala, yasyaha jala, manoratha. A river whose waters are what? Mind chariots. What are mind chariots? Manas ratha, manoratha. What's a more common word that we use for mind chariots in English? This is a good Sanskrit kenning. No, just desires, right? The things that are little things that we want. They're like chariots of the mind that just take us in one direction or the other. That's all it is. So the waters of this river thing called hope is something we might think of as desire, mind chariots. Trishna taranga kula, akula. So Trishna taranga kula. It's these waters now. This is a beautiful, what they call a metaleptic kind of, it's like one thing builds on the other, like a little chain here. Speaking of Shrinkala Alankara. These waters which comprise this river called hope, these waters of desire, are what? Akula. Agitated. They're troubled. What are they troubled by? Waves of thirst, waves of desire. Trishna, desire, thirst. Taranga, waves. So hope is a river whose waters are desires, and the waters which are troubled, agitated by waves of thirst. What else? What about these waves and these waters? They are raga grahavati. Grahavati. A little bit difficult word. Yeah, they're grabbers. These are animals. These are like crocodiles or some kind of sharks or whatever animal you want to think of in the water that snatches stuff. It's got snatchers in this little river, which are what? Raga. Again, they're all words for desire. Hope is but these are different forms of desire. Passion. Let's say sharks of passion or whatever. Crocodiles, water dragons of desire, of passion. Vitarka vihaga. There's other things that are in these waters. Vihaga. What is vihaga? Vihaga, dvidhā, khaga, pakshi. Give you. I'm sorry. My Amara Kosha is running out. Huh? Birds. Vihagas are birds. The birds of what? Vitarka. Dvidhā. Dvidhā. What is vitarka? What is vitarka? This is Jayashri. What is vitarka? What is dvidhā? What word in Gujarati did you say before? Dvidhā. Yeah. What did you say in Gujarati? The translation. Confusion. Vitarka is confusion. Why? Because vitarka means there's options. All vitarka means are options, right? You have to think about it. You have to think about, is it this or is it this? Which is confusion. And it's not reality. It's not unity. Whenever there are options, there's no unified understanding of something. So that's what there's these birds of doubt which hover on this river of hope. Dhairya druma dvamsini. And then these raging waters of desire are what? They're dvamsini. Dvamsa. Give you a verse from the Surya Shataka. Bhakti Dvamsana. Dvamsana means crushers, destroyers, wiper outers. Things that wipe out, they blow away, they wipe out. The sun is called a Nishadvamsini. Right? Nishadvams, the one that wipes out the night, is the sun. So the thing that wipes out the druma, vriksha, druma, padapa, trees. Boy, this is a little Amarakosha exercise. I love it. So the ones that wipe out the trees of dhairya. Patience, steadfastness, steadiness, fortitude. Mohavarta sudustarati gahana. Mohavarta sudustarati gahana. Ati gahana. This, let's say, moha varta sudustarati gahana. Is this correct? Maybe I mistyped this. Should it be moha varta sudustarati gahana? Might be separated here. I'm not sure if it's a samasa or if it should be separated, but either way.
From the meter, it's correct. Short. You were saying short.
Yes, moha varta sudustarati. Yes, okay. So it also has ati gahana. What is gahana? Deep. Very deep. It has very deep and sudustara. Very difficult to cross. Sudustara. Tarati, to cross. Dustarati, difficult to cross. Sudustarati, very difficult to cross. So it's got very deep and very difficult to cross avartas. Avarta budbuda tarangani mayan vikaran. This is from Bhavabhuti. Avarta are whirlpools. What things that swirl. Avarta. So these waters have very deep and very difficult to cross whirlpools in the form of what? Moha. Moha. Delusion. Whirlpools of delusion. Difficult to cross and very deep. Protunga chinta tati. Tati, what's the tata? A tati is the shores. The shores of the river are composed of what? Chinta. And what kinds of, yes, worry or chinta, thought most basically, right? Because thought almost invariably turns into worry. So the connections are very close. But protunga, what is that? Vriksha, tunga vriksha, yes. What is a, yes, anybody? I know Indiraji knows, but a microphone is not near her, so to whom is there a microphone near somebody? Tall, towering, high, but because it's protunga. Very high, very tall. So that it has very tall banks or shores which are composed of thought and worry. Tasyaha, and now don't worry, there's something good coming. This is Bhartrhari always like digs you deep into a hole, and then he throws a really nice rope over, which most of us can't really grab onto, but at least he throws the rope over. Tasyaha, of this river, Paragata Vishuddha Manaso Nandanti Yogishvaraha. That those yogis, Yogishvara, those masters of yoga, Nandanti. What is Nanda Dhatu? They rejoice. They overjoy. And what kind of Yogishwaras? They're Vishuddha Manasa. Those whose minds are pure, purified. Only those yogis whose minds are purified, Paragata. They're the only ones who can cross this river. A little depressing because most of us are not Yogishwaras. See, so we're stuck to be swimming in these rivers of samsara. What can we do? But this is beautiful. This is hope. Not a positive vision of hope. This is what it is. There we go.
Yeah. So in this context, what does he mean by pure? Means like no desire?
Purified.
Purified of what?
Vishuddha.
Purified of?
Asha? All of these things. Asha, Manoratha, Trishna, Raga, Vitarka, Dhairya Dvamsini, Moha and Chinta.
Okay, so if you're free of all those shackles, then you can't move anywhere. According to the earlier.
This is not the right context to not say good things about yogis. We're in an ashram. This is why we're here, to become yogis, no?
Yeah, but that is the reason why yogis are so still, because they have no they have no of those desires. And they're been there, done that.
They have no hope, but in a good way.
They don't need it.
They don't need hope. Again, as I started, hope is for all of us losers. We haven't won yet. We're not losers permanently. We're still trying to get out of our losing streak.
So we're hoping for that.
We're hoping for that. Exactly. Please, Indiraji.
In Sanskrit poetry, often you look at the end, and it ends with nandanti. What could be better?
What could be better? So, one more, and this one is a happy one. This is what I think we mean by hope. And the Sanskrit poets are not encouraging fatalism. They're encouraging perseverance. I think that's a better word for hope than hope. Let's look at this last one, yeah? Then we'll finish. Ratnair mahabdes tutushurna deva Ratnairmahabdestutushurna deva na bejire bhima vishena bhitim na bejire bhima vishena bhitim sudham vinana prayayur viramam sudham na nishchitarthad viramanti dhīrāha. Ratnair mahabdestutushurna deva na bejire bhima vishena bhitim sudham vinana prayayur viramam na nishchitarthad viramanti dhīrā. Devaha na tutushuhu. Tush, santushtaha, santoshaha, satisfaction. Na tutushuhu. Kim rupam? Tutushuhu. Chakruhu. Lit lakara. So what would this mean? The gods are not satisfied. Kaihi saha? Ratnaihi. By jewels. Kasya. The jewels from the ocean. Right? Ki, what kind of ocean? Great ocean. Maha, abda, right? That's the word for ocean. So abdi is the word for ocean. Abdi is up. What's the derivation? Any etymology there? Up is water. So abdi must have some sound change there. The pa to a ba in front of the voiced. Something going on there. Whatever. I just know the word abdi means. It should be abdi, shouldn't it? This is a typo. So it should be maha. No wonder I wasn't having trouble with this word. It's mahabdes. That's all it is. Abdi. So that which holds the waters is the ocean. Abdi, da. So from this is Panchami Vibhakti, I think. From the great ocean, with jewels, the gods were not satisfied. Okay? That's where the jewels are, by the way. It's the bottom of the ocean. This is the Sanskrit convention. It's the poetic convention, Kavi Samaya. So they say that's why it's good to do difficult things in life, like jump into the big ocean, because that's where all the jewels are, underneath. So it's a hard task, but it's better to go jump into the ocean to grab the jewels. So the gods weren't happy with those jewels, though. Na bejire bhima vishena bhitim, nor bejire. It's good form. Atmanepadi. What is the dhatu here? And what's the form? Anybody? What does it look like? Bhaj. Lit lakara, third person plural, bhaj. Nor did they enjoy, meaning nor did they have recourse to. Bhiti. Bhaya. Bhayankara. Fear. Nor did they have any recourse to fear. Bhima vishena. On account of what? The visha. The poison. What kind of poison? Bhima. Terrifying. So nor did they have recourse to fear from the terrifying poison. So they weren't satisfied with just the jewels, nor were they in the ocean, nor were they afraid of the poison. Sudham vina na prayayuhu viramam. Another lit lakara. This is a good lit lakara verse for the Sanskrit teachers. It's a good one. Prayayuhu. What is this? What is the dhatu here? Prayayuhu. E and pra-e is what? Yep. It's just, nor did they hasten towards, right? They, to go, and pra-upasarga. Nor did they move with force towards what? Viramam. Ending, stopping. Virama, right? Viramam. Nor did they hasten to end their activities, is the idea, right? Viramam. Sudham vina. Without getting what? Sudha. What is Sudha? Amrita. Without getting the thing that they really wanted, right? Remember the gods churned the ocean with the asuras to get all the stuff. There was poison in there, a lot of jewels in there, but what they were really after was the Sudha. That's what they were really after, the immortality. And now you get the lesson for the rest of us. Because arthantaranyasa, right? Na nishchitarthad viramanti dhiraha. So dhiraha, those who are patient, steady, steadfast, they don't stop. They do not call things off. From a purpose, artha, which they've resolved to get. Nishchita artha, nishchita artha, a resolution. Adhisthana, right? Some kind of fixed goal that they've resolved to achieve. The steady don't run away from that until they get it. They don't stop. They persevere. So I suppose this is what I was trying to get at here, that the hope seems to carry the negative implication of just optimism, right? Expectation. Oh, things will work out. Hopefully we'll get something from this. The Sanskrit poets are not crazy about that idea. There's too many obstacles. There's too many reasons to give up. Viramam. So instead they want to encourage not being passive about things, but rather to have resilience and to move forward. That's what I kind of got out of this theme. I tried to find happy verses, Shanta. I swear I did for hope. But nobody was offering them up. These poets are not interested in that kind of thinking. So here we are. They're pretty hard. They're hard-edged people, these Sanskritists, these poets. So that's their wisdom. Any thoughts or questions before we move on to the next part of the program?
Yeah, you're provoking me.
Okay, good.
Which is good. Guruji's legacy of teaching us Sanskrit he impressed us that Sanskrit grammar particularly had a connection to the cosmos, to the beyond the mind, where the hope really resides when the thinking mind and the body are gone. And there the hope is resounding. And this is why he spent so many years with us, I think, grammar all day, hours and hours of grammar, and then telling us, stop and forget everything we just learned and feel. He wanted to bring us to that hope that's beyond the thinking mind. And all of this that you've presented is amazing in terms of getting us to think together. It's another form of unity.
Going back to that previous verse, right? Protunga chinta tati. That flanked on both sides of our these towering slopes or banks of hope, of thought. And that you have to overcome as well. Anything else? Anybody? Any thoughts? Yes, please. Get the microphone up here.
So since we're speaking about grammar, I have a very basic question. Like in the first word, like when you have ratnair, I'm looking at the ma habdes, and so the ma has I would say the apostrophe on the ma, but it's related to the first word, right? Like you see the ma, and it has that sedil at the top.
Yes, in the Devanagari.
Yes.
Yes, Ratnair, Maha, and that should be a dha, but yes, Ratnair, yes, that refa, as they call it, right? The repa goes with the
ma.
Goes with the nair, but it's put onto the ma.
Yeah,
but it doesn't go with the ma.
Yeah, why is that? And I saw the same thing.
I think because when you're reading something left to right, you are you're sort of, before you recite the next syllable, that little marker makes you remember to precede that syllable with that R, right? That R, they want you to do it before the ma, because that ma is a akshara. It's its own undivided, it's its own sound. So the R has nothing to do with that. The R has to do with what precedes it. So it has to do with the preceding thing. If you put it in front of on the nair, on the N, then it would be rarnai, be something else, which wouldn't make any sense to us. That's my logic, but who knows? This is how people who made the script thought about it. So. Oh, right. So left to right, top to bottom. Okay, that's a good.
Thank you.
God, you asked a simple question. I gave you a complicated answer.
Anybody else questions?
Please, more comments than questions. Anybody has any thoughts about hope? Are you converted to give up hope? Abandon all hope, ye who enter here. Ogni speranza.
I feel like after all of this ambivalent hope from Sanskrit, Bollywood is a hard rebound.
Yes, trying to take you in a whole other direction.
Yeah, completely about be hopeful for everything.
I think Sean.
I think this whole presentation was full of hope.
Yes.
So my question is hope, is there only one word in Sanskrit, which is only asha, or are they associated with other
That's a good question. I mean, hope is an English word, right? So we have to kind of understand what we mean by hope in English. Then you could find a whole bunch of Sanskrit words to make it fit, right? I think that's the problem.
Because I think, in my mind, I think hope and desire are two different things.
Yes, well, I mean, according to them, they're both linked with having directionality, something that makes you go in one way as opposed to another way. So that's the essential meaning of asha, is direction. Yes.
So what came to my mind was the prayer of St. Francis, where he says, where there is hope, true faith in you.
Where there is hope,
true faith.
True faith in you.
In you. Where there is hope, true faith in you. That's part of the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi.
I think St. Francis's sentiment there is captured by the first hope verse we did, which is that it's a special kind of chain. You know, if you have it, then you have faith and you could go forward.
Right.
You can move. And if you don't have it, then if you don't have any faith, then you're stuck.
That's true.
Another word for hope is ayati.
Ayati? Ayati.
Ayati in my dictionary. Ayati. Into the mic. Ayati.
Hi.
Hi. I just thought I would say that after coming to Sanskrit, because I was so frustrated with Western poetry and how depressive it all is, you haven't made me feel much better.
Well, I think it's Bhartrhari who was a special, that's his aesthetic, to make you a little bit uncomfortable with the world.
Just touching on St. Francis, whom I was thinking of on the way here, or an expression, that said that he said, and it is, what's looking is what you're looking for. So my interpretation is that all is, was, ever shall be, it's always there. The seer, there's no seer, I guess. What's looking is what you're looking for.
Right, and just made me think of that, hope, it all depends on what the nature of your direction is, right? If hope is just something which is, it's what you're looking for is where your hope lies, It's interesting, yeah, I was thinking, since we're on St. Francis, the Serenity Prayer is all about that as well, isn't it? Like, to do what you can do and that's it, right? You and have the patience to recognize that there's things you can't do. And that seems to be more about the dvitīyasya than it is more about steadiness and steadfastness than it is about blind optimism.
In that prayer, that short verse, it's saying the what's looking, it's that is that, all that is that. What's looking is what you're looking for. So there's no what, actually.
Yeah.
That is why we say hope for the best and plan for the worst. To be practical.
Well, they would say, don't hope for the best nor plan for the worst.
Well, to me, what she quoted from St. Francis just sounds like Vedanta. Like, what we are looking, it's ekatvam.
Yeah. So beautiful this morning, the interpretation of the Upanishad. I don't know, who was doing that? Huh? Radha. It's really wonderful. It was just talking about the teaching that beyond the mind and the body, that it's almost like consciousness is something which is like, it's not like what you were saying of what's looking is something beyond what even the looker and what's being looked at, it's something other altogether, isn't it? And before all of that, right? Wonderful. Well, I think now I have the pleasure of transitioning this, and also I'll remain. We've decided that we're going to have a little kind of conversation, which will then build into a bigger conversation with everybody else on something which is sort of near and dear to the spirit of this ashram for sure, insofar as Guruji was, as Shanta was saying, a proponent of building unity and hope through persevering efforts and overcoming obstacles thrown up by the grammar of Sanskrit, which I know many of you are still struggling to climb out of, but it's well worth the effort. And so we're really blessed that our Northeast area now has a new person who, for the first time, be presenting something of their training and background and interest to us. And this is Dr. Mittal Trivedi, who comes most recently from the University of Cagliari in Sardinia, in Italy, who's a PhD whose dissertation, she'll tell you something about her work, but it's really, in general, about Panini, and more specifically about the teaching of Panini across the different generations up into the early modern period and into the modern period. So it's really about pedagogy and Panini, and so how all of those things kind of work together, as well as new methods for teaching. So I would like to introduce her to come and maybe begin part one of the event, and part two will be after lunch, where, and I think she has a series of slides as well. So, thank you. Start again. So we're gonna. Please. So we're still gonna roll a little bit here, and now we'll conclude with Om Shanti.